Football Show is powered by the all-electric Chevy Silverado.
Welcome to the Pro Football Show presented by the Chevy Silverado. Check out the first ever all-electric Chevy Silverado. Visit Chevy.com to build your own Chevy Silverado or the Silverado EV. Week 15 of the NFL season, and we have Super Bowl champion Nick Foles here.
First ever Super Bowl champ.
First ever Super Bowl champ on the show?
Or have we had a Super Bowl champ?
Gruden.
Well, Bruce Arians.
First ever Super Bowl MVP.
First ever, that's huge.
That's it.
That's even better.
Yeah, that is.
Appreciate it.
That
That's
is.
great.
It's
even
better.
I'm glad to be here. This is fun talking a little ball.
Yeah.
Talking about before the show, you guys were all debating if he can beat your gauntlet time. So I mean, this is
No,
quite
he
a day.
can't.
He might be able to beat mine.
I feel like a Super Bowl MVP might be able to beat your gauntlet time.
Yeah. The real question is, can Will catch up to me? Because I'm hot.
I said it last week, and we both had great weeks this past weekend, but my only year of experience with Dan is he barely has any lapses lately.
This is winning
So I
time.
think it's
This
going
is
to be hard
winning
to catch
time.
up to him.
This is, December football. It's winning time.
You gotta be a competitor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Put it all
so
together.
Dan is 110, 93, and 4. Will is 105, 97, and 4. And then the guest is very far behind, 77, 76, and 4.
So you got to pick it up for them.
You got to pick it up.
You got to pick it up for them.
If you're
RG3 did
gambling
not
with the
have a
boys,
good
if you're
week.
gambling with us, you're profiting.
Yeah.
You're profiting.
Unfortunately, I'm not even gambling with myself because I've had the worst football season of my career. But I'm giving winners.
Yeah. Giving winners.
Yeah.
It's not sticking with them.
Yeah, right.
Jerry, how you doing?
I feel good. A little shaky today, but I'm all right.
Why?
I got put on a diet.
Oh.
By your girlfriend?
Higher ups, I'll say.
Who?
The higher ups.
Your girlfriend. I mean,
Oh.
who else?
What's the diet?
I went with chicken salad today in a cup. Just try to
In a
get through.
cup?
Yeah, like in a container.
God.
Like no,
You
no
mean like
bread.
no bread?
No bread. Yeah.
Jerry.
And you're battling a sore arm.
Yeah, I'm battling a couple.
Jerry's a diehard Steelers fan, so when we get to that
Yeah,
game.
so I'm very
Yeah.
excited about
Sorry
that.
for you.
Why?
Because they're about to lose.
I don't think so.
You don't think, when was the last time they won in Philly?
65.
Yeah, they ain't won.
65?
It's been a long time since
You
they won
had
in
that
Philly.
ready.
Yeah.
1965?
Yeah.
They don't win in Philly.
No, they don't.
Damn.
But we got Russell Wilson.
Russ is a good player.
Good player.
Yeah, that'll be a fun preview. We might as well just jump into it then. Storyline games of the week presented by the Chevy Silverado. Before we get to that game where the boys are going to go out, let's talk about the Bucks at the Chargers. Dan, I'll start with you. The Chargers minus 2.5. The Chargers losing by 2 to the Chiefs last week. The Bucks getting that win against the Raiders. Who are you taking?
All right, I'm taking the Chargers in this game. Antoine Winfield out definitely matters for the Bucks. I think the Bucks are good. They've also beat up on some bad teams recently. And the Chargers, their defense is very, very good. The big question is Ladd McConkey going to be back? And I'll ask this to Nick because he obviously has expertise on this. When you do lose your number one receiver for a stretch, how much does that affect a quarterback's confidence? And, I mean, Justin Herbert's playing great. He's only thrown one interception, I think, all year, week 2. So he's been playing great. But you know how much Ladd McConkey means to that offense. How much does that affect your game prep and on Sunday when you're my number one option is not out there?
I mean, it's a huge loss. I mean, anytime you lose your number one receiver, I think about games that I've lost my number one receiver. It changes the game plan. I mean, you'd like to think, there's always someone that you want to step up, but if it's truly a number one, it's truly a number one guy, and you lose them, it has a huge effect on your game planning. You're going to spread the ball around a little bit more. And as a quarterback, you don't have that comfort on third down or when a play needs to be made just to throw it out there. So it does change things for sure.
I think he might play, so he might be back. But he is very, very important. Even though they were competitive against the Chiefs, he's just so important for a team that doesn't have a ton of outside talent. So Ladd McConkey has been incredible for him. But I'm going to take the Chargers either way. I think Harbaugh too on a bounce back spot. He's the type of coach where you get off a loss, especially a tough division loss, he's going to have everyone focused, ready to go.
Will?
No, it does. It screams like it's going to be the Chargers, but I'm going to go to the Bucks. Mike Evans coming back. And I also feel like, too, they're in the worst division. Tampa Bay's got the opportunity here to win the division and kind of starts looking toward the playoff and kind of being that underdog mentality, getting out of the city, traveling across the country, going to play a good team like LA. Everything says the Chargers right here, but I'm going to go Bucks because, again, Mike Evans coming back I think is going to bring a lot of juice to him. And, they get to travel with the chip on their shoulder.
Nick?
You know what? I'm going to go with the Chargers. I just, I'm a huge Justin Herbert fan. I mean, it's hard to bet against Harbaugh. I think just going into this game, I just know those cross-country trips, they're not easy. The Chargers are playing great ball. I think Justin Herbert's going to have another great game. Even though, your receiver's out, he's the type of player that can make plays. And he's smart with the football. That's the biggest thing is, he hasn't thrown What, you said one interception all year?
One interception all year.
I mean, so they're going to call plays, and he's not going to make things worse. So worst case scenario, he's either going to tuck it, run, get a few yards, or he's going to check it down. So I like the Chargers in this one.
Also, Justin Herbert really good against the blitz. Todd Bowles is going to want to blitz a lot.
Fair.
So
Yeah.
I like that matchup.
All right, so the game, the heated game. I'm obviously, Jerry, going to start with Nick here, and then
Yeah.
you'll get a chance to have a rebuttal. The Steelers at the Eagles minus 5.5. I mean, Nick, just wherever you want to take this, I feel like you're the best mind to talk about this game.
Yeah, I mean, let's just say this. You know, the comment I made earlier was, when was the last time the Steelers won in Philadelphia? It's been a very, very long time. I'll let you have that one. But I just think, you know, there's definitely been some controversy in the Philadelphia locker room that's been brought, you know, in the media. But the one thing about the Philadelphia locker room is we always know how to hash out drama, and we know how to deal with it. And they have such a talented team. I know they've been talking about their passing attack, and it's not this or that. It's going to come because of Saquon. Like, they're going to have to start loading the box more. They're going to have to try to take away Saquon. It's going to open up the throwing lanes. And once those things both connect, Philadelphia is going to be a very hard team to stop. So I have Philadelphia beating the Steelers.
What are those conversations like when the drama is inside the locker room in Philly? Like, knowing that the clips are all over the place of the slant routes and everything else about AJ being open, and it looks like Hurts is looking his way. Like, what are those conversations in the meeting room? It's like, hey, Hurts, just let it rip here. Trust it, let it rip.
Yeah, I mean, I've never really been in those, because my big thing as a quarterback with my receivers, every receiver wants the ball all the time, correct? That's just part of it. So what I do, and my recommendations for the quarterbacks, is when you're looking at your tablet on the sideline and you see different things, or you see guys open, maybe you missed, or maybe you went somewhere else, or maybe you're feeding someone else that game, go up to that guy that you know is not getting the ball and be like, hey, man, I see you on the slant route. I see you. Like, there was a time with Nelson Aguilar and Golden Tate who were in our slide, and maybe they weren't getting the ball when we were playing the Rams one game. And I'd go up to him, hey, I see you. I'm hitting Sproles in the flat right now. I see you. Keep running that route with that same intensity, and they're going to take away Sproles at some point, but I'm going to get it to you. So I think the big thing as a quarterback is you want to talk to your receivers. You want to talk to those guys that feel like they're not getting the love, because they want the ball, they're competitors. And once they're going to hash it out. They're going to be fine. The Philadelphia locker room won't allow that. That's what's special about that place is they're not going to let drama fester. They're big boys. They're pros. They're one of the best teams in the NFL. They're going to figure it out, and I expect a big game from A.J. Brown.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Listen.
What do you
I'm
not
just
know about
saying,
what
he's talking about big boys, the pros they handle at the Philadelphia locker room, like they fell off last year, and there was locker room stuff going on with Sirianni and everything else. This year, you have somebody, and you played with them, a stud like Brandon Graham, who's on IR, and he's on a radio show talking about the drama. The big boys, if you're hashing it out, usually, you're keeping it indoors. AJ did his thing in the post game presser he had, where he just said the word passing, and it kind of leaves everything up for interpretation. But after that, usually the great teams who have all that great leadership, everything is pretty much locked inside.
Yeah.
You're not on a radio show talking about it. That's why, to me, I'm going the Steelers. I love Russie. What's another stat for him? What's another stat for him, JJ?
Russell Wilson undefeated in his career against the Eagles.
Mike Tomlin is an underdog.
Steelers undefeated this season as an underdog.
Mike Tomlin is an underdog in his career. I have the stat. He's 5-0 this year, specifically 64, 35, and 4 in his career. 65% as an underdog. 5-0 as an underdog this year, straight up and against the spread. So they've won all the games.
Yes.
The big thing, though, with the A.J. Brown stuff, and I think there's a difference, because there's definitely times when you hear a receiver being like, I need the ball more, but everything's working, but he just wants the ball more. If you watch Jalen Hurts this year, it feels like he's not seeing it, right? Like, it feels like he's a little tentative. He's maybe trying not to make those big interception plays where he was, for a stretch there, he was throwing a lot of picks. It feels like he's being conservative, and he's not just trusting what he sees and letting it rip. And I think the Steelers' defense is a bad recipe for that, because they're going to do some confusing things. Their front seven is going to be able to get some pressure, even though that offensive line for the Eagles is awesome. I like the 5.5 here.
And
I
like it too.
To your point, and then I guess this is a question for you, because there is a difference for a receiver wanting more targets because he just wants more catches versus he's looking at the offense saying, I should get more targets because we'll be better on offense, right?
Yeah, like A.J. Brown saying that, I don't think anyone was like, what is he talking about? The passing offenses look great. He just wants the ball more. He said that, and everyone's like, yeah, the passing offense does look a little weird. Like, it isn't clicking.
Like, there is a difference between those two different requests, I guess.
Well, and I think, like Will, you said, it needs to stay in the locker room, right? We can't take the emotions to the media, because the media is going to take it and grow, because that's the job.
Especially in Philly.
In Philadelphia. But that's where, A.J. Brown does need to get the ball. Now, like you said, maybe there's a little more hesitancy from Jalen Hurts, but they also have Saquon Barkley who's running the ball. So they're in a situation right now. A lot of times, the quarterbacks, when you have that great front like we do in Philly with the O-line, and you're running the ball the best in the league, and Saquon is like up for MVP, and he's playing outstanding, which is awesome for him and for the team. You were like, we just don't need to make a mistake. Now, you can't have that mentality, though. You got to be aggressive. If you're going to take it to the next level going in the playoffs, you have to have both clicking. So I really, they need A.J. Brown to get targets. Like, he needs targets. He needs the ball thrown to him. That guy,
the best receivers
that guy
in
is
the
a
game.
difference maker. When he's on the field, it is a different team. So my hope is going to this game, they hash it out. The game plan will be fueled to get him the ball early. The big thing with guys like that is you want them to have the ball early in the game. I remember when I played with Deshaun Jackson, my goal for him was that even if I threw him a hitch route, I want him touching the ball early. I want spreading the ball around early, letting my guys know that they're getting it. Because if you don't get it to them early, then it starts the mindset, the thoughts start festering, the frustration. You get them a couple easy passes early, everything settles down. You're going to run the ball well. I like the Philadelphia Eagles at home. I know it's a 5.5-point spread. I know they have Russell Wilson. I know Mike Tom. I know all these things, but you're forgetting about the biggest thing, and that is the Philadelphia Eagles fans in the link. That is the biggest
Forget about
thing.
that, Jerry.
Yeah.
You forgot
No,
about
that's great fans.
Just like you go to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, it's
you
tough
go
to
to
play.
Pittsburgh, that's a huge advantage.
Yeah.
You're in Philadelphia, those fans are different. That energy is different. The Eagles feed off that fan base. Now, if this game's in Pittsburgh, I think it's a home field advantage there, and it might be a different conversation. The fact that it's at the link, the reason I think of that energy for the Eagles, as long as they get everything straight, is going to be huge because they know everyone's talking about this game.
Yeah.
It's going to be special.
And the Eagles' defense is really good. I don't think it's going to be easy for the Steelers.
Without George Pickens,
Without
too.
George Pickens, I think the Steelers are going to have to basically play perfect ball on defense, special teams.
Got to be low scoring.
Got to be low
Gotta be low
scoring.
scoring.
Got to play a little conservative. I think they will be one of those games if they can keep it in that kind of game script where, like, if the Eagles come out and they go up 14-0, I think the Steelers are going to be screwed.
Oh, yeah.
Because
Right. They're not a team that can play from behind.
And especially against this Eagles defense. But I do think it's going to be a grinded out game that Mike Tomlin, he knows how to coach in these games.
He does. He's a great coach.
Yeah.
Jerry, 1965 is a long time ago.
Yeah, it is.
Long time ago.
It is, yeah.
But, Rusty,
Dude.
I'm in the present right now. Yeah, I'm in the present.
so you're feeling pretty good.
This week was the worst I felt so far this season. Just because no George. I think this game is won in the trenches. I would give the edge there to the Eagles with their O-line and D-line. Steelers, a couple rookies and a second-year starter on the O-line. Might struggle a bit, but hey, Russell Wilson has proved a lot of doubters wrong this season. Plays really, really good against top defenses. Another stat, Will didn't bring it up. I gave it to him, he didn't bring it up.
That's what I was wanting you to say earlier.
Russell Wilson is 4-0 in his career against number one ranked defenses. When he plays a number one ranked defense, he beats them.
That's a good stat.
Yeah.
Why didn't you bring that up?
Well, I was wanting to set it up for him to say
Gotcha.
whenever he was hitting him with the 1965 one. I was like, JJ's got another one for you.
I
But
had 5 or
JJ's
6 for this game.
Yeah, but Jerry's full of stats. Any other stats you want to say before we move on?
No, I'm good.
Okay, all right. He usually comes with like a whole list of stats for the Steelers. So. All right, let's go to Jerry's Picking Zoo presented by Stella Blue Coffee. I'm sipping on the cold brew, the cinnamon flavor.
Yes.
Delicious, love it. They also have the new butter cookie, the Bully Beans Espresso Roast. It's the holiday hustle. These seasonal blends are perfect companions. They also have the Miss Peaches, which is 100% Colombian,
Yes.
which I know you love. Order Stella Blue's seasonal favorites today at StellaBlueCoffee.com. Use promo code football for 20% off orders of $25 or more. All right, Jerry, what do we got today?
Leia,
She's back.
back, undefeated.
She's 6-0.
6-0.
6-0. All right, let's roll the tape.
All right, welcome back, Pro Football Show, Week 15, Jerry's Picking Zoo. And what do you know? I'm here again with Leia. Leia is 6-0. She's undefeated, never lost. If you have been fading Leia, you're in the red big time. Really, really bad. If you've been riding, you're in the green, big time. We love her so much. She's a beautiful woman. We got our 2 treats. You guys know the deal by now. We're going to bring her around. Come on this way. Okay. Wait. No. She knows. She wants to be in that area. I want her to go over here. Go over there. Okay. I'm just going to put him down. Go. Oh, it's not on. No, it's on. It's not the Bills. The Bills. I think the line's plus 2.5 this week. There you go. We're riding the Bills. There's no way we can not trust Leia at this point. Book it. We'll be back next week.
Okay, 6-0.
6-0.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so the game of the week presented by the Chevy Silverado, the Bills at the Lions minus 2.5. Dan, are you going to go with Leia?
I want to hear what Will has
Yeah.
to say first.
Well, I want to hear what you have to say.
I want to hear what you have to say.
I like the Lions. I feel like, what?
Just the look on his face.
You like the Bills.
Love them. Love them.
Why so?
Possible game of the year.
Possible game of the year.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I had last week, I had the Rams. I saw that coming from a mile away that was a bad spot for the Bills. They had just clinched the AFC East. They were going across country. The Rams needed it so bad. I think people are a little off the scent with the Bills because that was a game that got away from them. Matt Stafford played a perfect game. Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp, those guys were incredible. I don't think it's going to be easy. The Lions definitely have an advantage running the ball against the Bills defense that has maybe not been great against the run. I think Josh Allen is playing at such a level, and this is a situation where Aaron Glenn has historically not done well against running quarterbacks. So, like, Justin Fields used to, like, ball out against the Lions. They do a lot of man. They do a lot of blitzing. I think Josh Allen is going to light this team up. I really do. I think they're going to light him up. The thing that makes me concerned is that obviously there is, again, we talked about game script with the last game. There's a game script where the Lions can get up and just, bully ball, run the ball. But I think if this game stays in reach the whole time, I think Josh Allen is going to, he's the MVP right now. And I think this sets up, I think he's going to get Keon Coleman back. I think he's going to get Dalton Kincaid back. They sat out last week. I think they could have probably played, but the Bills were like, hey, let's circle this Lions game. I think Josh Allen is going to light it up.
Your confidence scares me, but I'm still going to go with Detroit.
Okay.
At Detroit.
Okay.
Again, I think if you get there in the second half, this team wears you out physically. They can do everything on offense. Their defense, you're right. Josh Allen can light this team up. Josh Allen lights everybody up. He had, 6 touchdowns last week?
Yeah.
3 running, 3 passing. But I'm going to go with the Detroit Lions because every time I pick against them, they end up winning. So I'm going with the Detroit Lions at home.
Nick, who are you siding
Shoot,
with?
now that Will picked the Detroit Lions when he picks, now he's picking for him, so that's not giving the good mojo.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you though, Will. I think the Detroit Lions take this one, and the reason is because both their coordinators are going to be head coaches in the NFL before long. So the Lions, they're in the NFC. I know they're a rival of my Eagles right now with, going in the playoffs and everything, but there's just something special about the Lions team right now. You have these great coaches, you have these great players. They've all bought into Coach Campbell's thinking and his mentality. I remember several years ago when I was in Indy, we practiced against them, and just seeing that mentality. They were building that thing then, and seeing where he's taken them. It's a special team playing in Detroit. Josh Allen coming off this huge game. Their defensive antennas are going to be up. Sometimes when a quarterback's had a couple bad games, the coach will be like, hey, he's having a rough spell. Let's just make sure we keep him in that rough spell. Hey, he's coming off his best game of the season that they lost. They're going to have their antennas up. They're going to get a lot of hits. They're going to try to get a lot of hits on him early, though Buffalo is protecting him pretty well. Least sack quarterback, all those good things. But I really like Detroit at home. I like what they're doing. I think it's going to be an amazing matchup, maybe a matchup we see down the road again.
So, Dan, you love that they both love the
I love
Lions.
it. And Leia's 6-0?
Yeah.
She is,
Yeah.
but she's due. She's due to get taken
I
out
just
back.
think this is a perfect spot for the Bills. And the Lions are great. It's nothing against the Lions. I think the Lions
But
are
you're a
one
big
the best.
fan of them.
I'm a big fan of what Dan Campbell's done, and their defense obviously is very banged up. They've lost a lot of starters. I think they might get a couple guys back, but Josh Allen's playing at a level right now, and the way this game sets up with how the Lions like to play defense, and Aaron Glenn knowing that he has struggled, and Josh Allen right now, because Lamar's not run as much this year as in years past. Josh Allen right now, I think, is playing the best in terms of that dual threat because he has that ability where if he's going to run, it's going to be hard to bring him down. He runs at the right time, and if he scrambles and you think he's going to run, he'll just laser it down the field where it's everyone's still open. Especially if Keon Coleman and Dalton Kincaid come back and they finally have all of their options, I like this game a lot.
When are you going to pull the trigger on if it's the game of the year?
I would love to see it get to 3. I don't know if it will, but I'm gonna think. I need Travis Hunter to win the Heisman on Saturday night. If that happens, then it might be full. All systems go.
I think that's pretty much all but done, right?
You never know.
What's your record on Game of the Years?
I'm around 500. But I mean, I put everything.
We're
into
looking pretty
him.
good.
I put everything into him.
Yeah.
Well, I know he's
the
also
game
a
of the
fan
year.
Lions.
Baylor
He does feel good about this one. But
Baylor BYU game of the year a couple years ago got me sick for like 2 weeks after because I was stayed up till like 1 a.m. fighting for it. They take a lot out of me. They take a lot out of me.
So like at whatever time the Heisman is announced on Saturday night, that's when we'll probably know.
I'll probably do it on Sunday if I'm feeling it. It's just listen, when I do game of the year, I'm making a very, very, very large wager on it, and I'm going to fight for every inch, and I'm going to be there in the trenches. So we'll see. I don't know if I have it. I haven't done one in a while, so I don't know if I have it in me either.
And some would say that's harder than actually playing.
It's way harder than playing. Way harder, because I can't control anything. I got to just sit there and root hard. So we'll see.
All right, let's go to the playbook picks presented by DraftKings. Watching your team win is nice, but why not make that a win-win? And our partners at DraftKings are making winning right now even more fun. New customers who bet just $5 will get $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins, and it can be any odds. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use promo code PRO. That's PRO. Again, only new customers bet $5 on any wager. Get $150 in bonus bets if it hits. Only at the DraftKings Sportsbook. All right, Will. I'm going to start with you today because Tom has you first, which I don't know if that's new or if he just wants to make you feel special.
I love the
Go for it.
Dolphins. Obviously, coming off a bye week, it's going to be helpful for the Texans, but I just feel like they have too many question marks. And Miami, we're playing inside. We're on a fast track. This is a track football team. John Smith, the running back's name, A-Chain.
Yep.
He's going to be toting the rock well, and they just get the ball out so fast. The creativity from McDaniel. With Tua, I think they'll be firing. And again, they're indoors. They're on a fast track. I love Miami here, even though Houston's coming off a bye week.
Dan?
Yeah, I'm going to take the Texans. This is going back to Tua's been hurt this year for a little bit. He obviously missed the stretch, and that's why the Dolphins are in this hole. But what do we know from the Dolphins? What do we know from the Tua Dolphins? And no disrespect, but they love to beat up on bad teams, and then when they play a team over 500, they lose. This year, Tua is 5-0. His 5 wins are against Jacksonville, the Rams, that was early in the season for the Rams, or midway through the season, but the Rams are good. The Raiders, the Patriots, and the Jets. Not great teams. No. 4 of the worst teams in the NFL. His losses this year are Buffalo 2 times, Arizona, and Green Bay. Texans are closer to those teams than they are to the Jacksonville, the Raiders, the Patriots, the Jets. So I'm going to take the Texans.
That's my favorite analogy of yours when you do that.
Yeah, I mean, but it's true. Like I think we get off the scent. The Dolphins, they've obviously gone to the playoffs a couple years in a row, but anytime they step up in class in terms of competition, they don't have it.
Yeah.
But it's not like Houston's in that high of a class.
I agree.
They don't protect them well. The
I
offensive
agree.
line,
I agree.
penalties,
They're still above 500.
Yeah, they're 8-5.
Yeah.
Who are you taking?
in the AFC South. Like, what are we
But
talking about?
but his stat is over 500
Yeah,
teams.
no, his stat. I always love
And-
that stat. When
yes.
he separates them, they're closer to this team.
It makes you think about it. You know, I'm going to go with the Houston Texans. I agree with you. I mean, Miami's going to have things dialed up. It's a track meet. They're a fast team. But I also know that the Texans have D'Amico Ryans. I was with D'Amico in Philadelphia. We played together. I know his mentality as a player. I've watched him as a coach. He's going to have the defense dialed in with their game plan to take away, Tyreek Hill and their track guys. They're going to have some big plays. But I think just coming off a bye week, we know as long as you approach the bye week correctly, you got to get through that first quarter, get guys going again. But I really like the Texans at home this week.
Okay, Dan, the Bears. I'm sorry. I know it was a horrible game against the 49ers.
I'm going to take the Bears, but I'm so done. I'm done with talking about the Bears, thinking about the Bears. It's so depressing, man. It's so depressing.
The game was very depressing. I felt
It's
bad
just
watching
so
it
bad.
on your behalf.
I'm going to take them because I always take them, but God damn it, I just want this season to be over. I really need this season to be over.
What happened last week?
I don't know, dude. They just suck. I thought they would have some pride. I thought they'd have some fight, and they have none of it. And it's just a disaster.
They got what they wanted, I feel like, in firing.
Yeah,
him.
right.
Man, it's
You'd think, too, when a guy
Kings
gets
played
fired,
well.
like the players should have some ownership. Like we played to a level that a coach got fired mid-season.
let's make them right.
When they flashed the graphic, the 49ers had like over 200 yards, and it was just the Chicago Bears 3.
It was
I was
crazy.
like, wherever you were, I felt bad for
It
you.
was bad. It was bad.
Okay, so Nick, they're playing the Vikings. Are you as down on the Bears as Dan is?
I played for the Bears for 2 years. I know what it was like went through a similar thing that they're going through. We'd all like to think when you fire a head coach, the troops rally. But unfortunately, what happens is, maybe the game after you fire a coach, that's your best chance. But what happens is the reality starts setting in. It will be a new coaching staff. All the coaches there are probably going to be relieved of duties after the season. and then you have families and everything. So you're not as intense as you were at the beginning of the season with, you're still getting your work, you're still putting in everything, you're giving everything you have, but part of your mind's like, I'm not going to be here next year. And then the players, they want to rally, but it's also this season, we're not going to make the playoffs. It's going to be an off season. We're going to have a new coaching staff. These coaches won't even be here. So it just becomes a more toxic environment. That's why it's so difficult to fire a coach in the middle of the season. It's not fair to anyone. It's not fair to the players, no matter how bad it's going. So unfortunately for the Bears, I got to pick the Minnesota Vikings. I just think everything that's going on at Hallis Hall is really difficult for those players. I lived it. I know what it's like. I feel bad for them because when I was there, it was such a great locker room. But, going up to Minnesota with how well they're playing and, how well Sam Darnold's playing, they're going to be a very, very difficult team to play with.
It's demoralizing.
It's going to be demoralizing. It'll be very difficult.
Vikings as well. And to his point, it's like, this late in the season, too, you're thinking about your New Year's plans, your Christmas plans. Practices are easy. Like, you're just wearing your helmet. You're doing walkthroughs. Who's the interim head coach right now?
Thomas Brown.
Like, he's just running everything. Like, get guys in. Hey, here's your schedule. Let's give an extra off day. So, yeah, it's going to be bad for the Bears this weekend.
Are you going to ride with the Bears, or you're chuckling back there?
I told Dan this is my Tommy DeVito game. I think the Bears could win this game. You have those. Listen. Everybody called me crazy.
Hey, I love when this happens.
Tommy DeVito last year, and they all called him insane.
Is this
crazy
it?
in
I have a feeling about this is weird. This is like Bears look so bad. The Vikings, they're playing incredible. 2 losses.
Yeah, Darnold comes off. How many did you throw last week? 4?
Yeah, Addison and
touchdowns.
Jefferson have their games of the year, and it's like one of these games that you haven't seen it much in the NFL this year, but that was crazy. And 6.5 is weird. This line should be like 8.5, 9.5 for the way the Bears are playing.
You haven't had a Tommy DeVito game this year.
This is my game. I think Bears money line this game.
Yeah.
There you go.
Because you have those games in the NFL.
I'd like them to win at least one more game. It'd be nice.
You have those.
You
games.
need it.
It should be nice.
That's a good start right
game.
there.
Yeah, no,
that's a good start right there.
Yeah.
It's a great start and a great, prediction. I feel you, but you're still going up to Minnesota and playing the Vikings.
No, I get that.
And we all know being in a locker room, these are the scary games though, because you also don't want to give the Bears life at all, because the players then can take over and get their juice back that they've lost. So, Minnesota has got to start this game out hot, because also Caleb Williams is a good player.
Yeah,
he can put it together. But at the same time, so if I'm Minnesota, that first quarter, I'm gonna end the game right there and take away any. You don't want the Bears to have life. So the first quarter, in my opinion, those first two series, go 3 and out. That's the key to the Vikings. But if they give the Bears any life, that's where their chance comes. But if they don't have life in the first quarter, it's gonna be very difficult.
Now, what happens if it's halftime and the Vikings are up fucking 3 points? It's like, what the fuck? How is this team in this game?
This is the forward-facing game where it's Vikings, 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 and then I'm laying in my bed just grinning, being like, "Yeah, Jerry's a sick."
Texting Jerry. I mean, you can't doubt the Tommy DeVito game after what he did last year.
True.
Okay, Nick, who is your playbook pick this week?
My playbook pick, I got to go back to my old head coach, and I'm gonna pick the New York Jets at the Jacksonville Jaguars.
What a shitty.
What an awful game. But I had to pick a bad one.
Yeah, it's fair.
Let's give them some love. We'll give this game a little bit. This is the only attention this game's going to get all week. All right.
It's true.
So other than when Aaron talks about it afterwards.
Yeah, it's big of you, Nick.
So
big of you.
The reason being is quite simple. Old ball coach. Trusting that he's going to keep. You're 3-10. It's been a rough year. You're getting 3 points, but he's pretty good with backup quarterbacks.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna say, I know last
argument.
week wasn't great, but I also know that it takes a little acclimation period. So, maybe this is the game where they sort of light it up and surprise everyone and get that fun victory. And then you know what it's like when you have a bad year. When you win a game when you're 3-10, it feels like you won the Super Bowl. They're going to rush the field. Fans are going to rush the field. It's going to be that way. Hey, you're off. Hey, victory Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We'll see you Thursday. So.
Even if it's against another 3-10 team?
Hey, it doesn't matter. My rookie year was against the Bucks. I don't remember their record. They were bad like us. We won that game, and it just felt like we won the Super Bowl.
No matter if they're 3-10, your head coach comes in it's hard to win in this league. Yeah. I don't care who the other outfit is. It's hard to win in this league. Don't
Cherish every single one of these.
Yeah, a win's a win. It doesn't matter.
It feels good.
Yeah.
The next day you go into the office, no matter who you beat, it's so hard to win. It just feels good. So I have the Jaguars.
Okay, Dan, Jets or Jags?
Yeah, I don't want to think about this game at all. Aaron Rodgers versus Mac Jones. I'll take Aaron Rodgers.
Will?
Fuck. I thought we were just all going to ride with Jackson.
No, I
just let him make a spiel, and then me and you both say, "Fuck it, we don't care about this game," and we're just going to go with Nick.
I looked at this game, and I was just like, Aaron Rodgers, Mac Jones. Stop overthinking it. Just do that.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Dan.
Yeah, just do that.
I'm going to go with Dan.
You're not going to roll with
No, I wanted to, but just Dan thinking that, like that philosophy. That philosophy, like, let's just not think about it.
Will, I want to add, okay, so I want your philosophy, not a lot of depth right there.
No, it's not, specifically, but that's actually why it works.
I picked this game to rattle everyone, so I need depth.
You're not wrong. There is no depth in this brain.
Yeah, right.
Sometimes, as I've learned getting into this world, sometimes you got to lean on the pros that they're like, you know what? There's too much thinking that's going into this game. Fuck it. Aaron
Rodgers versus Mac Jones.
We're just going Aaron Rodgers.
Just think about like someone comes up to you like on the street and they're like Aaron Rodgers or Mac Jones. You're like Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Because there's been times where I try talking straight to the locker room mentality aspect of these games late in the year, and Dan will just rattle something off like
Aaron
that.
Rodgers
He'll be
versus
right,
Mac
and I'm
Jones.
like, you know what? I need to step back and take a breather.
Yeah.
I need to lean on the experts in this
Yeah.
field.
Like, look. All right. Ready? I'm gonna show you how this is done.
But just show him your record last week.
Well, yeah. I mean, but that's. Let's just pretend.
Let me show you.
Pretend Doug Peterson has nothing to do with this game. Just circle one of these guys.
Yeah, you'd circle this.
Okay, thank
Well,
you.
Aaron
So
Rodgers.
Nick just picked Aaron Rodgers. Is circle one. Mac Jones or Aaron Rodgers? That's
But
it.
here,
No, I see no Doug Peterson.
hold on, let me circle something. Hold on, let me do something. We're gonna do this.
Okay. All right. Tom Brady.
Oh.
Shit.
That is.
Yeah, he did it. He got me.
I
He got
see
me. He
you.
said
That is-
Tom Brady or Nick Foles.
That's incredible.
Smart. That was
You gotta be
smart.
quick.
I mean, that's
This is my first time doing
Yeah,
this. I'm trying
smart.
to keep up.
I don't know
smart.
if you can recover from
Damn,
to
that
be
was
honest.
smart. That was smart what you did.
That's
great rebuttal.
Yeah,
Also,
great rebuttal.
what a flex. that
Yeah,
is, by the
great
way. Like,
rebuttal.
there aren't very many guys that can do that.
Hey,
You and Eli
but
Manning,
only
I
do that
guess.
because he's the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
So like,
Well,
that's not going to change that.
listen,
It's just I got him twice.
If I was in your position, I would do that every
Yeah,
single day.
great
I would just be
rebuttal.
like, hey,
I'm still going with Aaron Rodgers.
there's a reason he can do that, right? It's rare. It's rare.
Yeah.
That was fantastic. Okay, Fireball Rapid Fire picks.
Ring on him too.
Take your shot. Fireball Rapid Fire picks of the week. Fireball's back with the perfect party starter for the holidays. Whether you're hanging it, slapping, or pouring it, the non-denominational holly-themed whiskey stocking is a must-have gift this year. It's literally a stocking full of Fireball that you can hang on your mantle or toss around the room with friends. Let's get into the Fireball Rapid Fire picks of the week. Will, Cowboys at the Panthers. The Panthers -3.
Don't know.
Panthers. Panthers are
Because they've
still
been playing
playing
well
hard,
as of late,
overshown
yeah.
out. Cooper Rush is not good. Bryce Young's starting to feel it. I like the Panthers. They're like, you look at what the Panthers are doing, and that's a team that there's a lot of bad teams in the NFL right now. They're one of the bad teams that is playing really, really hard. They lost by 3 to the Chiefs. They lost by 6 to the Bucks. They lost by 6 to the Eagles. Like, they're in these games. And so I like the Panthers here. Especially because, like, think about it this way. Like, it's December. Both these teams suck. Both these teams are not going to the playoffs. It still means something to beat the Dallas Cowboys. Like, they still got that star in their helmet, and the Panthers are going to get up for this game.
And there's also something to say, too, about, to your point of them playing hard this late in the year, especially against some quality teams like Dallas. They have their own.
Yeah.
That political system out there in Dallas.
That's
playing against the
shit show.
Panthers.
And what a way to lose on Monday night. Like, that's as deflating as it gets.
Yeah.
Okay, Nick, who you
I'm
taking?
with you.
Yeah, I got the Panthers. I think I agree with you. I mean, I'm not going to pick the Cowboys. I don't even care if they're the best team. I'm just not going to pick them. But that being
Fair
said, there's a
enough.
lot going on
Petty.
there. Their coaching situation's in flux. There's a lot of controversy going on, like what's going to happen in the future. Whereas the Panthers, they know that the coaching staff's going to be there. There might be changes, but Bryce Young is starting to play better. They have good veterans in the locker room. At Carolina, I like the Panthers in this one.
So Panthers across the board?
Panthers across the board.
Okay,
We all
Dan.
agree?
Chiefs at the Browns. The Chiefs -4.
Before you say anything,
Oh,
this feels,
oh boy.
the +4, it just feels like something's up.
Yeah.
Or is it just the fact that the Chiefs win every game?
Every game by 2.
By the last fucking play.
Yeah.
I like the Browns in this game. I do. I think this might be the Jameis game. The Chiefs' secondary is the problem. They had Watson goes out in the middle of the year. He's one of their best secondary players. And their offensive line, they get DJ Humphries back. He then gets a hamstring injury right away, so he might not play. Myles Garrett and that defensive line can still get after him. Like, Patrick Mahomes has been under pressure every single game. And I think the Browns are live here. I think this might be the one. You look at the slate and you look at like, hey, there's a lot of early games that don't mean anything. This could mean something. The Browns could win and mean something. I like the Browns.
I love Browns money line here.
Money line.
I love
okay.
Browns money line here.
Well, you're a Chiefs hater.
I am.
He
He's
roots
been
Chiefs
preying
hater.
on their downfall.
for a long time.
But to what you were just saying too, like Myles Garrett is just going to take advantage of that left tackle because they've been struggling to protect Patrick Mahomes. And again, keeping it close, there's just enough Jameis spirit in the air. I like an upset here. I like an upset with the Browns.
I mean, I'm gonna go with your philosophy and write it on paper.
Oh no. Well, no. I actually. Yeah. Oh, Andy Reid, Mahomes.
I think I just
And then I would circle.
No. I'm circling both.
Oh, okay.
They're on the same team.
Because if you gave me, but if
I'm not even comparing it. I'm
if
just
you
gonna
gave
say
me a
they're together.
Jameis option, I'd circle Jameis.
And I love Jameis. I love what he brings.
Sounds
I
like
love
you don't.
his speeches. You know what? I can love him, and I just think the Chiefs are winning. I think everyone's just waiting for them to just fall apart. But I know Coach Reid, and I played for him, and I know what he does. There's a reason they're so great. They're winning these games close because, I know when they have the ball at the end, the game is over because of how well they're coached. They know the situation. They know, when people think like the last game, they're just going to let them score. And then they're going to get no, they're going to take a knee. It's called church mode.
Yeah.
We have that built into Andy Reid's system where we as players are so educated in those game-winning situations, we know everything. So our coaches don't have to tell us anything. So there's a reason why now, money line, that becomes interesting, but I think it's just a matter of time before the Chiefs finally just blow out a team. So I think
I
this
was
might be it.
expecting it last week. I'm not a.
That's what
I'm not
saying,
a.
when's it coming?
I'm not a Chiefs stink
It hasn't
guy.
come for a while.
And you're just saying that the Andy Reid church book, it's like, okay, we know we're going to go out there and block this field goal against the Broncos.
Yeah.
They just get. I'm not going to.
he is.
I was going to say
not a
lucky,
Chiefs
but they're
guy.
not lucky. They're a great football.
No, they're not
Wait till
lucky.
Christmas. Wait till
Yeah.
Christmas. Wait
Yes,
till
sir.
Christmas.
I'm not on the team of the Chiefs are lucky. I think they have a winning DNA. If you slip up against them, they will capitalize. And the game, all these football games are game of inches for a reason. Like you make one mistake late, the Chiefs are there to pounce on it. The Chiefs though, they don't really take the ball away. I think they're third to last in takeaways. Obviously, Jameis likes to throw the ball away. So I think that actually plays to Jameis's hand, where the Chiefs aren't they're not racking up interceptions every game. I don't know. I like the Browns.
Yeah, but Dan, Jameis asked to be delivered from the pick six.
And guess what he didn't do last week? He didn't throw any pick sixes.
True.
He threw 2 picks, but neither
did
of them
ask.
were returned for a touchdown.
He did ask that.
He got it. He got it.
It'll be a fun one to watch, that's for sure.
Okay, Nick, the Commanders at the Saints.
Commanders at the Saints with the money line. I mean, honestly, going into New Orleans, 7.5 points, I got the Saints. I just think, that's a lot of points at home in New Orleans. I know they're only 5-8, but I think they'll keep it tight.
All right.
Dan?
Here's a stat for you. Bucks 51, Saints 27, Broncos 33, Saints 10, Chargers 26, Saints 8. What do those 3 games have in common?
I didn't hear you until the end.
Okay. They got blown out in 3 games in a row. There was no Derek Carr. This team, no Derek Carr, no Taysom Hill. How are the Saints going to move the ball? How are they going to move the ball?
Washington coming off a bye week.
Washington coming off a bye
this,
week.
This is a team that, has a really good shot at getting in the playoffs, and the bye week for them came at the right time. So,
Also,
I'm
Jaden
with the
Daniels 7-1 against the spread against teams under 500. The Saints are under 500. I like the Commanders here.
All right.
Yeah.
I like it. I
Yeah.
like it. This is gonna be
Commies.
interesting.
Commies? Okay.
Commies.
Okay. Will the Ravens at the Giants, a massive line, minus 16.
Whew.
Yeah, I mean,
16.
this line
16.
is crazy.
Crazy.
I think I'm just going to take the Giants because the line is 16.
I mean, yeah,
did the same
they are
thing.
horrible,
I think
but
it was
16 is crazy.
it was the Lions and was it the Panthers?
Jaguars.
The Jaguars?
Yeah.
And I think that line was 13. And I
You
just
took the Jaguars.
You're right.
You did.
You're right.
You took the
I
Jaguars.
took the Jaguars Lions covered with the large spread.
13.
They killed them.
Yeah.
That's a sign.
Yeah, there's a sign.
signs.
Yeah, the signs. We're going Ravens minus 16.
Yeah,
Signs.
I hate
Love
this
that.
game.
I mean,
16's
look, 16
insane.
is
It's insane.
it's college football.
It's insane. But I'll take the Ravens. It's insane. It's an insane point spread. But I think the Ravens, the only way they don't cover this is if they just decide to stop playing in the second half because they can pick their number here. The Giants are a disaster. Tommy DeVito's back.
and it
Ravens coming off of a bye.
No
right.
Dexter Lawrence. They're a disaster. I think
we can see Derrick Henry.
the Ravens getting themselves
New hair.
right.
New hair.
Maybe getting
Cut off
right.
the dreads.
16's crazy though.
16 is crazy. I'm with you. All those different things. We were just talking about Tommy DeVito game and stuff like that. 16 points. I know winning an NFL game by over 16 is very difficult.
Yes.
College happens all the time. NFL, very difficult. I'm going to go with the Giants.
Okay. That's
It's
smart.
a
That's probably
gigantic
smart.
line.
That's probably smart.
Gigantic. But you learned your lesson.
Yeah, I was gonna do that. Then Dan reminded me.
Well, you have one last chance. Are you gonna?
Yeah, I think you were like Jaguars too many points, and then the Lions won
What are
like
you gonna do
105 to nothing.
Before we move on.
Ravens.
Okay.
I like it.
All right, Dan. The Bengals at the Titans. Bengals -5.
I'm going to take the Bengals here. I don't feel confident about this one, but I just,
Write the names on the paper.
the Bengals, it's the names on the paper. The Bengals offense still is electric, elite. Joe Burrow's playing out of his mind. He's having an MVP season with a 5-8 team, and the Titans are just bad. They're just bad. It's sad.
I know.
They're bad.
Are you sad?
When your head coach comes in after the game after scoring 6 points and be like, we did some pretty good things. It's like, man, there wasn't nothing.
Scary hours.
I'm going with the Bengals too. Joe Burrow, he's played incredible. He's just on a shitty
And the
team.
Bengals still, I know it's a very long shot, but they still are playing for something because if they run the table, they're doing the math and saying, hey, we got at least a chance. So
whole one game at a time mentality.
they're in the playoffs already.
Yeah.
Playoffs started for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that whole thing. Yeah.
You had that look.
Every week is the playoffs.
Will had to process that. Is Dan fucking with me right now?
No, I love when coaches do that because it's basically we fucking suck. So the playoffs started in Thanksgiving.
Came early for us.
Right.
Yeah, you never want to hear that. All of a sudden, you got 10 playoff games.
Yeah, right.
Nick, who are you taking?
I'm taking the Bengals. I agree with
Okay.
you all. I think just they're playing so well offensively. Joe Burrow's been playing fantastic this season. I think he's going to continue to do so, and I think they're going to take it to the Titans.
Okay, Nick, the Patriots at the Cardinals.
Yeah. Ooh, 6 points. You know what? The Patriots they have not been great this year. They're trying to figure it out. New coaching staff, new systems. It just hasn't been clicking yet. I'm picking the Cardinals at home.
Dan?
I'm going to take the Cardinals as well. This is a matchup where the Cardinals, it's kind of gone sideways. They 3 weeks ago, they were at the top of the NFC West. I think they've lost 3 in a row. Kyler Murray throwing some picks. But the thing I always say with the Cardinals, and when you watch their games, if they can run the football, everything else works. And they'll be able to run the football in this game against the Patriots. So I think they're going to win and win big.
Will?
Agreed. I like the Cardinals here too. Again, they're 0-3 since the bye week. It's the bye week. They took the wrong approach to the bye week. But this is a game to get back on track because, again, that NFC West is wide open and they have to have this game.
Okay, Will, the Colts at the Broncos.
Broncos.
Yeah.
Bo Nix.
Bo Nix guy. You love Bo Nix?
Indianapolis coming out this late in the year, traveling to Denver again with the momentum that Denver has right now, how great they're playing on defense. Bo Nix playing well, protecting the football. I like the Broncos at home.
Dan?
Colts.
Ooh.
Do you have reasoning?
You said that with conviction.
Dan in the eyes of a smirk.
It's a spot. I think I've been hard on Anthony Richardson. I think he's playing a little bit better. Riley Moss out for the Broncos. That's important for their pass defense. And the Colts are getting a couple guys back. I think was it Downs that was hurt, who's maybe coming back. I think the Colts are gonna keep this game tight. I do. I think they're gonna keep this game tight. And this is a huge game for playoff implications.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like if the Colts win this, they are very much alive. And if they lose this, it's over. So I think you're gonna get max effort from the Colts, and I like the Colts.
I think the Bengals end up playing the Broncos. So if the Broncos lose this game and then lose against the Bengals, I don't know if the Bengals play the Colts.
No, they don't.
Okay, but that's big for the Bengals.
This is a huge game. It's
like
swing
all
game.
3 teams. This is big for.
Yeah.
Nick, who are you taking?
You know what? I'm picking the Broncos. I love Shane Steichen, played for the Colts. A lot of my former teammates are there, but, I know they're a dome team. They play in a dome. They might live in a cold weather climate. They play in a dome. You're going to be outside, cold weather, at altitude, playing against a Denver Broncos team, which is figuring it out. Their young rookie quarterback is figuring it out and playing great ball. As a rookie,
Yeah, he's awesome.
Bo Nix
he's
is
playing
great.
fantastic. So, and he can move around. He can run the ball. He can throw the ball. He's making plays. He has confidence. He has enough, cojones to go up to Sean Payton and, be aggressive. I like what I see from him, so I'm picking the Broncos.
Yeah, we had Kenny Dillingham, who's a friend of your guys too, on PMT. He said Bo Nix, because he coached them both at Auburn and at Oregon. He said Bo Nix has so much dog in him, he makes people uncomfortable.
I love that.
Like even other grown men.
Yeah. Like other grown men are uncomfortable being around how much dog Bo Nix has.
I love that.
Yeah.
And building off that too, even though Anthony Richards has been playing better, like he's very much just a running style quarterback.
Yeah.
Who's still trying to figure it out, putting the ball in the air.
Super talented.
Yeah.
Super athletically
Yep.
talented. And it's just only a matter of time before it starts clicking for him.
Yeah.
Okay, Dan, Sunday Night Football, the Packers at the Seahawks.
I'm going to take the Seahawks. Listen,
2.5.
Mike McDonald's defense is starting to take shape.
We were
They're
talking about
playing
that.
some really good defense off the bye. I also think the Packers' vulnerability over the middle and Geno's going to get the ball out fast. I like the Seahawks here.
And Nick, you said you agree.
I like the Seahawks as well. I mean, I believe the Green Bay Packers have trouble playing in Seattle historically, for one. And then, night game in Seattle. Seattle's figuring it out. And then we all know what it's like to play in Seattle.
Yeah.
It's brutal. Like, you can't hear anything.
Oh, I
It's
don't.
loud.
I don't know why I said
Well, I didn't look at you.
Yeah, I don't know why I said
I was looking at Jerry.
Jerry knows.
Jerry's just
Yeah,
trying to
it's
deal
real
with
tough playing
He's just
there.
dealing with the chicken salad and stuff right now. Poor guy.
He's not feeling good because he hasn't eaten enough. It's okay. Will, who are you taking?
Seattle.
Okay.
Dan said it, off the bye week, they're 4-0. It's 4-0 right off the bye week.
Yeah, I think they're like top 5 EPA per play defensively off the bye week. Like it just, we had this conversation early in the season. Like new defensive coordinator, defensive head coach takes a little time to get everyone in place, get everyone feeling, trusting their system, playing free. That has happened.
Yeah, and being at home, being underdogs at home, I'm telling you, if they get this game, Green Bay's a great football team. NFC's got a few good teams there. But Seattle's somebody who's not being talked about that can really choke out the division right now, and they could be a problem in the playoffs.
The Seahawks also, DK Metcalf said this week that the defense, I guess, since the bye week has been calling themselves the death zone.
Oh, yeah, I like that.
Yes.
That's like some twisted metal shit.
Yeah.
Hey, anytime your defense feels confident and they're playing good enough and they get a nickname,
Yeah. the
Yeah.
death
Especially
zone.
like the
it
Jets.
becomes legendary.
Yeah.
That's hardcore. All right, Nick, last game, Monday Night Football, the Falcons at the Raiders. Falcons -4.
Yeah, not an awesome Monday Night Football
I mean, that's
game.
disgusting. That's
I'm going to go with the Atlanta Falcons. They had a really tough game when Kirk went back to Minnesota. Knowing Kirk Cousins, I feel like he's going to have a great bounce back game. He's going to be, smart with the ball.
Brother. I mean, it's his game 4. We need this bounce back game.
Yeah.
What, 0 touchdowns, 8 interceptions?
Yeah.
But
Last
there's something
4?
about Kirk that I know with his preparation and his mindset, like he has the ability to do so, and I think this is an opponent that you can do it against. Going against Minnesota's, where he played last year, amazing opponent. That's a tough bounce back game after you've been struggling. This is the game that Kirk Cousins the Falcons need to go into Las Vegas and come away with victory.
Will?
I'm going Raiders just because I need the Raiders to win a game. And I feel like if they're going to win a game this late in the year, it's going to be against the Atlanta Falcons with Kirk struggling. I hate that the boy Kirk's struggling. I'm wondering if the Falcons are thinking about going with Penix whatsoever.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go Raiders here just because, again, based on the bets that we've had, 2 shows ago?
Yeah.
I need the Raiders. I need the Raiders to get one.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to do it. It's going to be against the Falcons.
So, Dan, I assume you're going to take the Falcons because of that bet?
I am not going to take the Falcons.
You're gonna take
I'm going to say one of the dumbest things I've ever said, Desmond Ridder revenge game.
Oh.
That's so.
Yeah, really dumb. Really, really dumb.
That's a cute laugh.
Listen, the Falcons, as a franchise, I feel like all they know is pain. And what would be more pain than anything else than Desmond Ridder beating you to basically knock you out of the playoffs?
Yeah.
Desmond
I mean, that's
Ridder
just a
revenge game.
ridiculous storyline that's where the Falcons always end up. They end up in maximum pain. What would be maximum pain here? Losing to the Raiders.
Losing to Desmond Ritter.
Yeah.
I mean, as we go into the hot take segment, that's pretty good. That
Yeah.
game's going to be the Desmond Ridder
Revenge game.
Do you have another
Again,
hot take?
I don't even know if he's capable of revenge. I don't even know what. It's a dumb thing to say. Desmond Ridder revenge game.
But I kind of love it.
What the hell is that? Yeah.
Okay, then let's go into hot takes. Do you have a hotter take than that?
Do I have a hotter
take than
that
the
Desmond
Falcon
Ridder revenge game?
Raiders Desmond Ridder revenge game?
Desmond Ridder
You got one?
revenge game.
Jameis Winston and God himself are going to expose the Chiefs this weekend and win by 10 points.
That's a hot take. It's a hot take.
No, I guess Desmond Ridder revenge game is the hottest. I mean, I love the Bills, but yeah, I don't think you can get hotter than Desmond Ridder revenge game.
Nick, do you have any hot takes you want to fire off?
I think I'm going to go with our favorite game that I chose was the Jets and the Jags. And I just think, you know what? Like, I'll expand on it more. I mean, the Jets are going to go in there, and there's probably not going to be many fans in the stands. Mm-hmm. It's
Maybe the pool won't even be open.
There'll be someone in there. This won't be what it was like at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
But Jacksonville's used to playing in that environment.
True.
And Jacksonville always finds a way to just like at some point at the end of the season win one of those games big, and you're like, wait, why weren't you doing this before?
Right.
So this might be that game. So.
We talked about that game so much when Aaron Rodgers simply takes the Jaguars.
Yeah. I took Mac Jones over Aaron Rodgers.
It was as simple as just writing.
Because you don't
it
think
on
being
a
in New York cold right now, like you get to go down to Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Hey, but they might be enjoying that warm weather too much. You never know.
Nothing will ever get, like what he just did to Dan with the
No,
Tom
that
Brady,
was
Nick
great.
Foles thing.
He got me. He got me.
He got you on
He
that.
got me.
Okay, Survivor pool picks. Will, you
we're
and the
still alive.
guest are still alive. Jerry and Dan are eliminated, but they still have 1 point. So, Will, you cannot take the Eagles, the Bengals, the Titans, the Jets, the Bills, the 49ers, the Dolphins, the Bucks, or the Broncos.
You should forfeit the pick, Will. Because the more teams you keep on taking, when we restart again, you're only going to have 1 point.
He's trying to win.
Yeah,
this
he's
thing.
trying to
just
win.
Just take the Ravens.
Don't let it- don't-
just
because
take
you
the
need a point.
Ravens.
You need
Both
a
of you
point.
just take the Ravens. Both of you just take the Ravens. What are we doing?
The Commanders.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay.
You can't take the Commanders.
Yeah, you can't take the
You want to take the Ravens?
No, I don't.
Oh.
Who do you want to take?
I'm gonna let Will
Okay,
decide.
okay. And just for everybody watching, the guest seat cannot take the Eagles, the Bengals, the 49ers, the Jets, the Commanders, the Lions, the Chiefs, or the Texans.
I know you're not gonna pick my team, so I'll just close this.
You still with us?
Yeah. I'm down to the two. I'm down to Washington and Baltimore.
Both are going to win.
I mean,
But which one do you want to save?
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Because you do, if you.
We'll go Washington.
Okay,
Washington.
Commanders for Will, and the.
I'm gonna go with the Jags.
Oh, no.
Let's go.
It doesn't matter to him. He's not going to be here next week. It doesn't matter.
Hey, I'm just rolling with them.
Hey, okay.
I'm just
all
rolling
right.
with the Jags.
Okay, anything else for Nick?
No, it's been great.
It's
Thank
been
you
great.
so much, man.
Yeah, thank you so
So
much.
much
Thanks.
fun.
And we'll be back next week.